Bank 2016 might just be the greatest of all time. It's right up there with Money in the Bank 2011 for me in terms of its sheer quality. Perhaps most famously, it features all 3 Shield members being WWE champion in one night.
Ambrose with a briefcase! Please don't!
Ambrose would win Money in the Bank just to cash it in on Seth Rollins, who had just dethroned Roman Reigns. It featured a freshly heel-turned AJ Styles taking on John Cena for the first time ever. Styles alongside the club pondering the question, what if he had been here 15 years prior? Would Cena have become a star if Styles was there? And the Money in the Bank ladder match, which still to this day has one of the best promos I've ever seen. I highly recommend you go watch it. I also recalled it having one of the craziest bumps I've ever seen from Kevin Owens.
Sami Zayn with the elbows to the jaw. Oh my lord. Michinoku driver! Right onto the ladder. The Michinoku driver bending Owens in half.
Also, please take a listen to Michael Cole here.
Happy Father's Day, everybody, as we welcome you to the greatest Money in the Bank pay-per-view in history.
Did bro know? The show kicks off with a fatal 4-way tag match for the tag team championships, which the New Day had held for nearly a year at this point in the midst of their record-breaking reign. This was the era of the New Day where anything they touched turned to gold, and anything they said was wildly entertaining.
We don't know whether to fight you or to collect $200 when we pass go. Got him!
This one really signifies how much promise but also how much talent they had in the tag divisions at this time. I remember enjoying the work of the Vaudevillains in NXT. This was just before the main roster completely fumbled them, and before Simon Gotch buried Enzo Amore. The New Day, enough said.
Big E spearing Gotch.
Enzo and Cass, wildly entertaining, so over in this time period.
I am a certified G and a bona fide stud, and you can't teach that.
The New Day would retain after a midnight hour.
Kingston! The double team! New Day retains the title!
The crowd was so hot here in Vegas, and it's so much fun. Then we see an interview with Kevin Owens ahead of his first Money in the Bank ladder match, until he's interrupted by Jericho, who says, "I don't steal spotlights, I am the spotlight." The entire dynamic between Jericho and Owens is hilarious here.
Why do you call everybody perros? Do you have a dog at home? What's the issue here?
Perro means dog in Spanish?
Yeah.
Oh, you speak Spanish now?
No, I just learned that word because he calls everyone
You know
that.
what's funny? I don't see any dogs around here. The only perros I see are the perro idiots standing right here.
Jericho says he's gonna give everyone
The gift of Jericho. Drink it in, man. Stupid idiots.
Kevin Owens has always had great comedic timing, but here he's just on another level. It's almost like there's nothing you could have said to him that he wouldn't have had a comeback for. Then this show had Dolph Ziggler taking on Baron Corbin, which surprisingly was a great match. Like, even greater than I remember.
Oh, it's Ziggler that caught him! Ziggler stumbled coming over the stumbled, and that just cost him. He said it ever!
The thing about 2016 Baron Corbin is he worked really well with smaller wrestlers like Austin Aries and Dolph Ziggler, guys that made him look like a monster as they sell their arms off.
Wait for the end of days. Ziggler with a super kick. Is it enough?
And that's exactly what we had here with Ziggler. It was a scrappy underdog Goliath fight. Unfortunately for Ziggler, an end of days signals his end of days.
End of days. Ball game.
By the way, the Deep Six and the End of Days might be one of the coolest Sig-Fin combos of all time. Then we see star of WWE 2K25 DLC and former AEW wrestler Shaquille O'Neal in this commercial, along with Seth Rollins gearing up to win back the title he never lost. Women's champion Charlotte Flair and her protege Dana Brooke next took on my GOAT Becky Lynch and my BOAT Natalya. It's very clear that Becky Lynch here was still getting to grips with the main roster and still kind of getting comfortable in her character, but at the same time she was still getting high-profile world title adjacent opportunities and also world title matches. Dana is still refining her confidence as she would later go on to perfect in TNA in my opinion, and Natalya holds it down as the veteran, as Charlotte uses Dana's smarts to hit a natural selection to win.
Oh, wow. Man. And now Charlotte with natural selection.
Charlotte at this point was no doubt having a fantastic run as champion. She had won it from Nikki Bella the year prior as the Divas champion and then continued to hold it throughout WrestleMania. But after the match, Natalya would turn heel and attack Becky.
To the drawing board. Oh! What the? Oh my God! Natalya just...
This was peak Natalya, sexually frustrated because Tyson won't sharpen my shooter over on Total Divas. So, you know what, Natalya, I understand why you're mad. Genuine question, how tall are they trying to imply Tom Phillips is here? They're making the poor man look like El Torito next to a Dorito. Dean talks about WWE being a jungle, and the one thing in this jungle is that briefcase, which is his. Apollo Crews manages to sneak away with this victory.
You are kidding. Apollo Crews rolling up the Sheamus, who's arguing it. Crews with the win. He did it. Apollo Crews with the win.
I'm also just wanting to point out the people that were backstage on SmackDown at this point. You've got Zack Ryder, Goldust, R-Truth, and Summer. And this was still very much the era where they were painting him as the next big thing, or at least they were trying to do so. I mean, at least we'll always have the pandemic Apollo run, which is wildly undermentioned nowadays. But meanwhile, the big dogs are gonna hunt. Ooh-ah. They also show promo here for next month's Battleground. Battleground 2016 featuring one of the greatest matches of all time between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and also some of the greatest promotional imagery I've ever seen. I remember really loving this as a kid. Next, it was time for the dream match. AJ Styles versus John Cena, first time ever. The story of a match nobody ever thought they'd see.
They're making noise here tonight. It is electric in Vegas. Only ever so often do you get to experience something like this. Soak it in.
The atmosphere was phenomenal, and so was the in-ring action. Cena pulling out different moves to try figure out the incredible arsenal of Styles. Yet Styles had Cena figured out time and time again.
Cena trying to restart that momentum swing again. And again, AJ Styles caught him with an enziguri.
It's a mix of strong style, technical wrestling, and magnificent chemistry.
The position. Oh, look at that. Man. Forearm. John Cena caught him in an A position. No. Roll through. Calf pressure.
When Prime Cena wanted to ball, he could ball.
Same. But Cena with a clothesline. And just like that. Cena with the Styles caught him.
Styles continues to have a counter for damn near everything, but Cena kept in the fight even after the Styles clash. The referee would be inadvertently knocked down, leading to the emergence of Gallows and Anderson, where of course in storyline Styles had signed a contract to ban them from ringside, but as he claims later on, he had no idea Gallows and Anderson were doing that themselves.
Oh, the referee's down. And now a magic killer. Now the official back down. Styles is beating Cena.
We see a WWE Network ad for Swerved here, one of my personal faves. And for those of you that really want to see the golden era of the WWE Network series return, I hear you, I promise. Next, it was time for the Money in the Bank ladder match won by Dino, which is truly a spectacle. This Kevin Owens bump will forever live rent-free in my head.
Sami Zayn with the elbows to the jaw. Oh my lord. Right onto the ladder.
They also gave Del Rio a surprising amount of shine in this match. Jericho hilarious as always in the midst of arguably his best run, although he's so great he's had so many go-it runs.
KO! Oh no! Frog splash!
I particularly love the point in this match where every man is brawling on the ladder bridges and the main ladder. In the end, Kevin takes one final fall after being driven into the ladder by the winner, Dean Ambrose. Sensational match. I adore the year that is 2016 for pro wrestling. Like, imagine an era where Raw, SmackDown, and NXT are firing on all cylinders. We're getting new network specials all the time. We're getting new network originals. We're getting new episodes of Total Divas. It's all happening. 2016, God bless. Corey Graves, what the bumbo clot are you wearing? Anyway, next we see Titus O'Neil kiss his son on the lips.
70 pounds, Titus O'Neil.
And his son's here on.
Then we see Rusev beat the bricks out of him to retain the United States title.
I just fought out of it once. Can he do it again? He's got to tap out.
The after the match promo is even worse.
You see your father over there? He's a loser. Happy Father's Day!
The Titus O'Neil's son gives him the weakest little slap ever. It's almost like a slap of encouragement, like, thanks for beating the out of my father. Like, just a shocking night all around for the O'Neil household. Time for the main event, Rollins versus Reigns, featuring one of my all-time favorite Rollins attires and entrances.
Here comes Rollins. Rollins drives the champion into the barricade. Here we go again. Oh my
Seth Rollins proving that his knee is working just fine. As Reigns dominates much of the early going, the tide starts to change. Both men going back and forth, move for move, pedigree counters, Superman punches, spears, frog splashes, the whole nine. And still the crowd biting on every single one.
Rollins held onto it. The Falcon Arrow. Oh man, look at that power.
Reigns goes for a spear through the barricade, but Rollins moves.
Watch out! He ran into the barricade.
Then Rollins goes for his pedigree, gets driven into the official, and Reigns doesn't win off his spear. And then all-time legendary counter sequence.
Splash. Reigns looking for another one. A spear. Look at the pedigree. Caught by a pedigree. Does he have it? Pedigree. Cover on the champion. Reigns.
One final pedigree to Roman Reigns, who never really recovered from the...
Dirty deeds. Ambrose the cover. Kick out Seth. Ambrose is champion.
Me too, dude. Me too. All three Shield members WWE champion on the same night. It's one of the greatest Money in the Banks ever, and how fitting that commentary says Dean Ambrose hit the jackpot, given that at WrestleMania the year before, Rollins was the heist of the century. Ambrose's reign was also pretty solid as he became the man to lead SmackDown into the brand split in the new era. He put on solid matches with Dolph Ziggler until he eventually lost it a few months later to AJ Styles at the Backlash. This brings Money in the Bank 2016 to a close, but what a pay-per-view. Let me know what you thought of Money in the Bank down in the comments below, and what pay-per-view or show you want to see me revisit next.